Hello everyone, my name is Kid Lee and welcome to the community feedback video for March of 2017. If this is the first time you've seen this video, this is going to be a place where we are going to consolidate all of our good things and bad things that Star Wars: The Old Republic is currently doing so I can relay your information to the developers. So down below in the comments, let me know what things you like or do not like currently about the game, and I will go ahead and relay that information to the developers. For this episode, I have a very special guest, a good friend of mine from TekniekGames. Novik is here to join us. How are you doing, sir?
Good, how you doing? Thanks for having me, by the way.
Oh, pretty good. So, like with my other guests, I had you come up with a little bit of lists, some good things, some bad things about the game. So, what would you like to start off by talking about?
I'm good with whatever. You go ahead and decide what we start with.
Okay. Well, I'll just mention here real quick that if anybody's been keeping up with the news, you know that BioWare has been doing a lot of very interesting things here recently, talking about certain nerfs they're going to do to Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 for the command experience, and how they're actually going to be changing the way that the command crates work in Update 5.2, as well as the operation drops in 5.2. And I think overall, this information is making people pretty darn happy. Now, of course, everybody's always like, just get rid of this command crate system and all this, go back the way it was. I guarantee you they're not going to do it. They've already put way too much money into it, and so we're going to be pretty much stuck with what we have. So they're just going to keep tweaking it. So I guess, what are your overall thoughts about the sort of state of the game with the command crate system?
Okay, so with the command crate system, I've got a couple characters that are level 70. The one that I did my playthrough of the expansions with being the most one, or the one I've used the most. But I haven't really leveled up in the command crate system that much. But from what I have seen, it's very RNG whether or not you're going to get some gear or just other items, which is kind of good and bad. But I kind of wish, like with the command crate system, instead of having the command crates, like why not give us certain tasks to do so that we can get certain specific like armor sets, or not armor sets, but like pieces, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like, because I do kind of like the system. I like the system of we still have like an experience bar consistently going, even after we hit max level. That keeps people feeling like there's some sort of progression. But I also don't like how very RNG based the game's gotten, if that makes any sense.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to your list. So let's go ahead and talk about your item for what is the game doing right at the moment?
So I haven't played a lot of SWTOR ever since I've finished the expansion. I've been kind of like, when I have been playing, I've been starting new characters, seeing how that process goes. I really like that you can choose your specialty class right at the beginning, you know what I mean? Like, whether you want to be a marauder or, yeah, there we go. Advanced class. I really like that. That's really cool. And I noticed, I don't know if a lot of people have noticed, or if it's just me, the game's running a lot smoother. Like, I feel like they've put a little bit into fixing the way the game runs a little bit, because I've been able to get a consistent 60 FPS, whereas I usually haven't in the past.
Yeah, with the last expansion, they definitely did some tweaking on that, and I've heard that from other people. They're like, the game's pretty much running the best that it's ever run in the last, a little over 5 years. So yeah, that is really cool.
I have to agree with that. I also really liked the story for a lot of the two newer expansions. Kotet and Kotfi. Really liked those. And I guess all of my other really good experiences were in the PTR that we can't talk about. So
yeah,
or the PTS. So
talking about your character creation thing here, real quick. Which classes have you not played yet?
Um,
Or most of them?
a lot. a lot of my viewers get really mad about this. I haven't completed the Imperial Agent, and I haven't completed the Bounty Hunter stories. Those are the two that I can consistently say that I get asked to do a lot and haven't done just for some reason. Um, Also the Trooper, just because I don't like that class. But those are the ones that I haven't done.
Before I interrupted you, were you gonna say something about that previous point?
Oh no, no.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the other list. What are some things that you think that the game could improve upon right now?
Uh, I know this may be a lot to ask, but could we not focus on the cartel market so much? Like I know it's like one of the best ways they make their money. And they're doing some cool things like selling like direct sale items now. That's pretty cool. Currently they've got the covert energy armor going on and um the unstable lightsaber, and that stuff is cool. I just wish that they were either doing that with new, like super new items, like items that weren't currently in packs, and that they weren't so pricey, and that instead of updating the cartel market every month, they were putting more into bug fixing.
So let's talk about that lightsaber here real quick, because you're someone who's played a fair amount of MMOs, so you might be able to relate a little bit. The real world price on that lightsaber is about $60. Do
Yeah.
you think that that is right?
No. I personally don't. It's very up in the air regarding, to who you're talking to. The way I see it, I can get Mass Effect Andromeda instead of getting a lightsaber in a game that literally does not benefit you in any
Mhm.
way, shape, or form. And that's just the way I see that. I don't. I think it should be like real world price, like $10 at most. So that's about what, like 1,400 cartel coins or something like that.
Yeah, whatever the conversion on that is. Now, you
Yeah.
play a lot of Elder Scrolls, and recently you've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy. In those two games, do they have cash shops? And from what you've seen, what is like their highest number items?
So from what I've seen, uh, in the Elder Scrolls, they do have a cash shop. And I guess Final Fantasy kind of does, but it's not in game. It's all on their website. So they're not like advertising that they have a bunch of items, in the game itself. So that's really cool. A lot of that in Final Fantasy is event items that you can purchase, like limited time stuff or super cool mounts that not a lot of people have, stuff like that. I do think that a lot of those are more expensive than they should be. For instance, you can get a full set of armor for one character uh, for about $18. That's really expensive to me.
And that
And
was in
not
which
really.
game?
Final Fantasy
Okay.
14. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to remember the number. There are so many. And the Elder Scrolls Online, they kind of do the same thing, except the Elder Scrolls Online is also doing the same thing SWTOR does, where if you're subscribed, you get basically cash shop currency to purchase things each month. And from what I've seen, the most expensive thing, because you can buy certain items in their cash shop, like expansion items
Mm-hmm.
separately. So, like, instead of what SWTOR does and just subscribing or like buying the most recent expansion and having access to all the other ones, you can just pick and choose without really having to subscribe to the game. They also offer that. And that's about, what is it, like 5,000 crowns, which translates over to, I want to say, about $60 for all that stuff. So it is a bit pricey. It's a lot less prevalent in the Elder Scrolls Online than it is in Star Wars: The Old Republic, though.
Okay, that's really interesting to see the comparison.
I
Well,
don't know, because the way I see it, like, because in Star Wars you're getting one lightsaber, like I said, that doesn't really do anything other than make you kind of look cool.
But it
Or
sparkles.
it sparkles for the same price as in another game. You can get, I'm pretty sure, all of the expansion content. I could be wrong.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and move on. What else did you have on your list?
On my list, in terms of, are we still talking things?
Yeah, approve upon or
Well, 5.2 is coming out soon, but seeing how it's not out currently, I feel like I could still kind of say that the lack of endgame activities is a big thing, like operations. The uprisings are kind of fixing that, but from my experience, I haven't really tried the uprisings that much. I haven't really felt compelled to do so either. So I mean, they're like literally about to fix it, but still, as of the time of this recording, they don't have those out, and that's been a problem for at least a couple months,
right.
not just March.
So real quick on the operation thing, they made the decision to slowly release this operation out throughout the year. Do you like that formula better, or should they have waited until the whole thing was done?
Um, I feel like they should have just waited until the whole thing was done, or, like I said, stop putting so much time into the cartel market and just focused on putting it into the operations.
Right.
But a lot of my gripes with SWTOR have to do with the cartel market, and that's really where that basis comes from. So a lot of my dislikes, I feel, could have been fixed from spending a lot less time on the cartel market, and that's really my scapegoat.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that agree with you. I mean, I agree with that completely.
I don't know. I feel like I'm one of the more vocal ones about it, though, for some reason.
Yeah. Central's up there pretty good, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's also got more fair points than I do on that subject, so I feel like I'm almost not qualified to talk about it. But and then another thing is currently there's what I've played, a lack of difficulty. I'm currently going through the leveling process with a bounty hunter, a mercenary, without playing the story at all. So I have no companions, and I'm doing just fine. Which I'm playing Marauder, so I also, or not Marauder, Mercenary, so I have some. But at the same time, I feel like it shouldn't be that easy just to like level without a companion in a game that was based around you having a companion.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point.
Like I'm going through flashpoints, the solo flashpoints, and as much as I like the idea that you can solo flashpoints now, I feel like the droid they give you to be that all-encompassing party member.
You mean Jesus Droid?
Yeah, Jesus droid. He's too strong. He's too powerful in every regard. If I can go through without a companion and just have him, like, and I've gone through like 4 different ones solo that I can without a companion. It's just been too easy. I don't know. Ramp up the difficulty a little bit, maybe?
Yeah. Well, cool. Any sort of final words as we wrap this thing up?
Oh, geez, I've talked a lot. I don't know. As we have covered, the operations are coming out, or the operation is slowly coming out. But I mean, they're updating stuff, and what is it this week? They're adding stuff into the March 14th. So in 2 days,
yep,
they're updating everything. So, I mean, I'm glad they're doing that. If they can just focus more on pushing that out than pushing stuff out for the cartel market, I think we'll be in an even better place than we currently are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pretty much agree with everything you've got to say. Yeah, hopefully they can definitely start cranking out the content a heck of a lot more, because it sounds like that's what people are really wanting. And like I said earlier, you're not the first person to tell me about this, the issues, so to speak, with the cartel market. Yeah, I want to get that stuff scaled back a little bit.
Yeah, and I understand they have a smaller team than they did at launch, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they get that huge cut? So, I mean, you gotta make do where you can. You got to make the money so you can do stuff, and I understand that. It's just a little frustrating to get what amounts to kind of short stories. From what I've seen in, well, actually, I guess you can't really say that. Last year, that was definitely the case with Knights of the Fallen Empire, because it was like every month you got a short story.
Right.
But the Eternal Throne expansion didn't really do that. But like I said, I'm pretty understanding about why they're doing what they're doing. But like, there's got to be a point to it, and we haven't really seen the point to it yet.
Yeah,
or
and the
where it all
whole
goes into.
the whole by-month thing, they said they probably weren't going to do that again.
I'm very glad with that because there was so many bugs by doing it monthly
Mm-hmm.
that they could have just ironed out. I don't know.
Yeah, they're referring to it as the Netflix binging thing, so they just release them all at once, and people can do whatever they want.
Well, that's how expansions I feel should be. That's how most people do expansions. They don't just like release a little bit monthly, which they're still kind of doing with this operation.
Right.
So like they're not completely out of the episodic release schedule, but with a smaller team, what do you expect?
Yeah, and something I just thought of is it could be that they are maybe going to be doing story stuff with these bigger updates as they release this new operation throughout the year. Because we know with 5.2, we're getting the first boss, and then they're also releasing the new daily area, which has got that new story.
Yeah.
Now, there was a rumor that just came out, and I'm going to classify it as a rumor because technically I'm not really allowed to comment about data mined info. But the rumor that just came out was that they are also working on a new flashpoint. So it's possible that 2.6 could be then the second boss and then this flashpoint, which will also have a story.
I'd be okay with that. As long as they're, adding more story to the game, because that's really the focus they've decided to go with is story. Like I said, I'd be okay with that. I do kind of wish that they'd start going back to the Empire versus Republic war instead of now we have the Eternal Empire thing that you may or may not be running, or the Alliance or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
where it's all a singular focus so that they can really, I don't know. I feel like, and this is just a general statement, not just for March, SWTOR was a much better story-driven game when you had 8 stories that you could do and focus on, and I don't know, I feel it had more value to the game and replayability when you had the 8 different stories instead of just 8 different stories now all focused into one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
I don't know. Maybe I'm being too cynical, but
no, never.
oh, I could, but I'm trying to have a fair point of view and being understanding. It's new change for me.
Well, Novik, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
And for those who don't know, Novik is a YouTuber and Twitch streamer. So what are your plans over the next couple of weeks? Where can people find your stuff?
You can find me over on youtube.com/NovikGaming. I'm trying to change the URL to TekniekGames, but they're not letting me do that. Or you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TekniekGames. I'm probably on Twitch more nowadays than I am on YouTube with the whole recording thing, just because I like streaming a lot more. But follow me on Twitter as well. I think it's twitter.com/NovikPG for plays games. That's what the PG stands for, because I can guarantee you my tweets are not PG. That's usually where I shout out streams, stuff of the like, and I try to do more than just Star Wars: The Old Republic, especially as of recently. So should be all around fun. Come say hi when I go do some stuff. And we should do more stuff together.
We should, yes.
We definitely should.
We were actually just talking about something. We'll see if it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a secret.
Secret.
And I'll go ahead and place all his info down below this video, so if anybody wants the quick links, they can get at it that way.
That's much better.
But yeah, once again, everybody, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thank you all so much for watching. And with that being said, everybody keep playing, have fun, and we'll see you next time.